Sevilla in Spain have probably one of the worst records of the 21st century, with over 180 red cards in the first 21 years of the century. And that got me wondering, can we make Sevilla possibly the dirtiest team in FM for the current season? Let's find out how many red cards we can get, shall we? So hello and welcome to another video here on the Ironowl channel, and welcome to Sevilla. What I've done is been able to go into the editor data and find out things such as aggression, dirtiness and controversy, which of course we want all to be particularly high because we want red cards, but equally I've kept up the stats for professionalism, sportsmanship, temperament and composure, because frankly I want as low a number as possible in all of those because I want them to be complete. Fill in which word whatever you want there. The tactic. So it's a pretty simple 4-2-3-1 formation. I've called it seeing red because essentially what I've done is try to get them into positions that they're going to have to make tackles, and particularly rash ones. So I've put them in defensive mode so that they're not going to be getting forward particularly often. I'm going to let them run at defense. So my idea is that I want them to lose the ball as soon as they get it. So I want them to be playing risky passes. I want them to be chucking the ball forward quickly. I want them essentially to do everything possible to lose possession and have to win it back, especially if it makes them annoyed that they've done it. Distribute quickly so that the goalie gets rid of it more often. Counter pressing, just anything particularly, but low defensive line so that essentially you're going to have players back there to tackle players. Get stuck in as an absolute obvious 100% must be in there. Dropping off a little bit more, just basically they're going to all be together there trying to get there. I've tried to leave everything else the same, but what I have done is I've given everyone individual traits of taking more risks, shooting more often, roaming from position, tackling harder and marking tighter, which in every single game I am also going to add tackle harder and mark tighter. So basically it's ultimate aggression. What damage can I cause? My hope is I can get us beyond 30 or at least beyond 25. And who knows, hopefully we might even stay up. But let's go sim forward a few games. I'm going to sim this forward sort of quarter of a season at a time roughly and see where we are at each stage. So let's see what the first few games give us. So I've come back on the 1st of November with the Champions League group stage, because it's still the group stage at this point because we're still on this season. And what we've done is actually stay in the Champions League, qualifying in second behind Inter, quite comfortably as well, despite being a team of complete hotheads. If you look at the stats for the competition, we've had 2 red cards so far, which is only equal with 3 other teams when it comes to red cards. In La Liga, on the other hand, things have been a little bit more... yeah, it's been a bit more violent. We've had 7 red cards so far this season. More than any other team by quite a considerable way. 309 fouls, which is considerably higher than the next highest team in Atletico Madrid. 53 yellow cards, and not a particularly good tackle percentage either. It's been exactly what I was hoping for, let's be honest. Let's have a look at a couple of the stats. So, Didier Lamkelze, I imagine I've completely butchered that, but he's been butchering a lot of other players with 2 red cards, along with Otavio, who, I'll be honest, Otavio with these stats is one of the players I have high hopes for. Merit Demiral with 1, and to be honest, quite a few players won. Diego Costa, thankfully, and Alfredo Morelos, each pitching in with 1. Good to see, justifying their selection in this game. Here's one just for your viewing pleasure, and hopefully that I'll show you a few more as we go along. And with that, we are now in February, and we are still in the Champions League in the round of 16 against Bayer Leverkusen. Meanwhile, in the league, things have picked up a little bit. We're up to 13th, but more importantly, how are the cards looking? 12, so we've added 5 more to our tally since then. 500 fouls, achievement unlocked, and we're only in February. 86 yellow cards, 12 reds through 20 matches. It's all going well as an experiment so far. Red card wise, no one's gone beyond 2 red cards. So Otavio and Lamkelze That's going to be difficult. I've got their particular two, but Demorales added a second. Marcus Acuna's got two now. And the list of ones just keeps on growing, essentially. The idea now, let's go on another few months to see what happens. But here's my favourite from this latest set. In the end, I thought I'd give you two for the price of one there, because those were absolute belters. But anyway, here we are now in April, and we've been knocked out of the Champions League by Bayer Leverkusen, which is a shame. And what's also a shame is we didn't add to our red card tally. We did get a few in the Copa del Rey, which you can't see down here. In fact, just the one. However, in the league, we're in 12th. We're looking sort of solidly mid-table at the moment. We could even challenge for Europe if we're particularly lucky. In terms of the stats, though, 18, so we've added 6 more in that sort of 2-month spell, which is fantastic in my eyes, essentially, progress-wise. Now up to 731 fouls so far, 107 yellow cards. Just absolutely brilliant. Otavio has been absolute MVP of this save so far, with 4 red cards and 11 yellows. 106 fouls, just... He has been a superstar for this save so far. You'll notice he's not currently playing. That's because he's suspended again, which should surprise absolutely no one. Lamkelze, who has just been my nemesis when it comes to pronunciation, but he's been doing the business when it comes to fouls. 3 red cards, only 5 yellows and only 53 fouls. So those 3 they've counted. They have properly counted. Gary Medel getting up there from 0 straight to 2. That's nice to see as well. Alfredo Morales still only has 1, which is a shame. But we're also noticing a few players are deciding that they fancy a bit of a challenge and moving away from us, which I suppose shouldn't be particularly surprising when you consider we're not exactly doing particularly brilliant in the league and we're just out there trying to injure people. But anyway, let's have a look at a few more of our favourites, shall we? So that was Otavio there with a double bubble there. However, I've just had to bring us back here on April the 15th because we just played Barcelona away at the Nou Camp, or the Spotify Nou Camp as I suppose it's supposed to be called now. And we've had our first 3 red card game. Yes, Andre Poco, Marcos Acuna and Alfredo Morales decided this was the day they were all going to get sent off. So I felt like I had to come back and show you this. Here we go then. Oh, that's an absolute beauty there from Acuna. Deserved straight red. Solid straight red as well. You love to see it, and you hate to see it if you're actually a purist of the game, etc. But for me, that's an absolute beauty. Let's skip forward to the next one, shall we? So, throw in for Barcelona. And, oh, Poco. Does he give away? I don't think he gives away a penalty here. He probably saves a penalty, in fairness. But, yeah, that's an absolute beauty as well. Loving that. Good work, son. Good work. So the third one. Oh, Morelos. Tell you what, I was expecting 2 of these to be complete and utter, nothings and game engine blips, but my goodness, all 3 of them tackles were absolutely brutal. You've got to love it. I'm glad I came back for that. Anyway, let's go forward probably to the end of the season now, see where we end up in the table, see how many red cards we get, and frankly see what chaos we can cause. So we've come back now at the end of the season, and as you can see, it got a little bit tight at the end. We were running out of players, and we've ended up surviving by a point, and we had to rely on Valladolid failing. We played Mallorca on the last game of the season and only got a draw. Valladolid drew. If they'd have got a win, we would have been relegated. We were just running out of players quickly. But, of course, what we're all here to see. Let's look at the league first. We ended up with 27 red cards in the league, which is phenomenal. We ended up 27 red cards in 38 matches, 1,022 fouls. We topped the 1K, getting 146 yellow cards. I was hoping for 150. 69% tackle percentage. Nice. And 17th in the table overall. The top, shall we say, performers, Otavio ended up with 6 red cards. Absolute MVP of the save. Marcus Acuna, you've seen a couple of crunches from him in the montages. He got 4. Gary Medel and Lemakelze with 3. We're getting better. Couple of 2s, and then plenty got 1s. Disappointed that the likes of Suarez and Morpay decided not to chip in at all. But overall, just fantastic performance. And I need to now go look at the stats and work out how many it was in total. So back in a second. So I've had to do a little bit of maths here, and looking at the 3 competitions that we were in as a whole, we played 49 matches in charge of Sevilla, had 1,184 fouls, 168 yellow cards, and 30 red cards in total. Hit the 30 when you do it in all competitions in the end. Sublime performance by everybody. We've created a dirt mega monster, and let's hope this never happens in real life. Unless you enjoy the chaos, of course. And with that comes the end of another video. Thanks ever so much again for watching, and thanks as always for your support. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Share it with all your friends, hopefully. And hopefully we'll see you again for the next one. Let's see what carnage we can create next time, eh? But for now, goodbye.